All right, let's get to this. Open sesame. All right, what shows we like, subscribe, join the reaction. If not, fair enough, if you are trash, let's get to it, man. The most honest and funniest reaction out. We got part 2, Swedish drill doc, man. I owe y'all. Let's get to it, man. Please like up for me for part 3.
Vad fan är ditt problem? Driver du? Hej, driver du? Det är vi som är kartellen. Mannen, har du härmat vår lock? Hej, vad fuck?
Yeah, we was on the Chief Keef hype.
Now, at the beginning of the 2010s, true gangster rap in Sweden was still extremely niche. However, that would rapidly change after the drill music movement began spreading from Chicago to the rest of the world all around these times. With Chicago rappers...
Bro, Chief Keef, I don't even know if Chief Keef is 30 or he just turned 30. I think, bro, like 28 or 29. Bro, y'all, this Chief Keef's influence around the world was crazy, bro. He had every youth around the world in a chokehold. I would say most of us in a chokehold. Bro, it was crazy.
This ultra-real and violent interpretation of gangster rap rapidly influencing the Swedish rap scene, as various artists would emerge trying their best to bring that Chirac energy to Sweden and showing the world just how real tourist areas like...
As a Swede, I love the idea that tourists will come on to YouTube searching for advice on what to do in Stockholm using the keyword Stockholm City can end up with this as their first result.
Stockholm could actually be beneath the surface. Interestingly, by 2018, amid the rise in Swedish gangster rap imitating Chicago drill, an unexpected face would enter the Swedish rap scene. The rapper Einar, a wholesome-looking 15-year-old...
This is crazy, bro. He looks like a great guy. Bro, he looks like, oh, he don't got blue eyes. If he had blue eyes, this would be your boy's dream. Yeah, the German dude's dream. This would be the German dude's dream right here, nigga. Bro, I ain't even gonna say. I'm not even gonna say what. Bro, he looks like a great guy. Bro, he looks like a great guy. Nigga look like he stole his grandma's cookies, but gave it back just because he wanted to add more M&Ms to her cookie, nigga. That was wild that you do it. Yeah, that was wild. That was wild. That was wild thing to say. That was a wild thing. That's why I just say his name. He looks like a great guy, though.
Year-old teenager whose mother is actually an accomplished Swedish actress named...
What? Nah, what the hell? Nah, what? Wait, hold on. My fault.
Interestingly, by 2018, amid the rise in Swedish gangster rap imitating Chicago drill...
The first joke threw off my other joke. I ain't gonna joke.
An unexpected face would enter the Swedish rap scene. The rapper Einar, a wholesome-looking 15-year-old teenager whose mother is actually an accomplished Swedish actress named Lena Nilsson.
His mother is an accomplished Swedish actress. Oh, that's crazy.
Although Einar didn't grow up in the public housing projects like most other Swedish gangster rappers, he did grow up in the Stockholm suburb of Enskededalen, where idyllic wooden houses in the south, like ones often seen in travel shows about Sweden, would meet working-class apartment buildings in the north. And these kind of hoods are actually where Einar can be seen hanging out with his friends in early music videos, particularly Enskededalen, or simply Dalen, a small district in Stockholm, which is also where one of Stockholm's most infamous gangs, the Dalen Network, allegedly takes its name from. Despite his mother's success, Einar's childhood was reportedly somewhat troubled.
Einar had a rocket career from a messy upbringing to the top. Only 16 years old rapper and broke through in a short time. Oh wow, that's crazy. I would say this, like, it sounds like they were all around each other, like regardless. Like they say suburb. I believe he said earlier in the video, like suburb isn't exactly like how Americans see suburbs. It's different, and it sounds like everybody was kind of in the same place. And it sounds like his upbringing wasn't the greatest, even though he had his mom was very popular, but she was still over there. And it kind of reminds me a lot of, even like I would say Long Beach and like California, especially SoCal, like LA area. Like everyone's around everybody. Regardless of really like class structure or maybe the money scale, like everybody's around everybody. So if you grow up and you're around everybody, then you're gonna gravitate. Those are gonna be your friends. So y'all, and if they're your friends, y'all gonna most likely do the same stuff. And stuff always starts off innocent, playing some games, but So that kind of reminds me really of California, to be honest. Like everybody's around everybody. So no matter what money class you may be in, you're gonna experience the same thing as everybody else because everybody's in the same place.
Troubled, as he claims in his song Youngster with Extra Energy that he and his friends were up to no good from a young age, stealing scooters and selling drugs in school. Eventually, Einar would meet a man called Patty. Now, that's his name, don't cancel me for that. But he would allegedly be a former leader of the Darlan Network gang who would actually end up becoming Einar's manager, together with another alleged member of the network called Chapo. This street management duo would unfortunately meet a tragic end, when in 2018, Paki would be killed, with allegations that Chapo was even responsible, with all of this ultimately leading to a trial where Chapo would beat the charges. With all of this going on, it's no wonder then that Einar himself was going through some difficult times.
So that's crazy. So his manager, his manager was a leader in the group, in the alleged gang, and then another guy in the gang, who I'm pretty sure he was close homies with both of them, was helping out as well in the music part, and his homie allegedly got rid of the manager. Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. And basically, when they get into it, the former leader, one of the leaders of the gang, allegedly, is gone. And that was your manager. So your manager, so he thinking like, bro, my manager just got killed by somebody he's close to, and I'm close to both of them. Bro, what's about to happen to me, Dan? That's crazy. That's a lot to deal with, bro. I ain't gonna hold you.
Einar's problem behaviour would eventually cause the social services to take him away from his family for 6 months, but this would do little to change his behaviour, and eventually he began carrying a gun and following in the path of gangsters that he had surrounded himself with. However, Einar had also been incredibly passionate about rap music since a very young age, and during these turbulent years of his life, clips would circulate online depicting the baby-faced teenager rapping in the studio and outside in the Swedish streets, with Einar putting the pain from his turbulent upbringing into his lyrics, suggesting that rap had always been his salvation in between spells as a drug dealer, with Einar ultimately inferring that rap music actually made him a millionaire.
They hate on a brother who's today is a millionaire. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all can take this how y'all want to take it. I ain't gonna lie. Here's somebody. I don't know how they speak in other countries, y'all. Actually, not in other countries. They call everybody calls each other brother. Brother. Yeah. Never mind. I'll take it back because it's a different country. But I think it's different because I know people are gonna think like it's one of those like classic like quote unquote the good kid with a good upbringing just wanted to go to the hood, but he grew up there like for real. Like this ain't one of those like he was just trying to be cool. Like these are the people he was around regardless. Like he grew up there for real. This was just a reality. Like he loved rapping, but he was already part of it because of that's where he grew up. This is probably translated to English too. Is they hunt on a brother? Yeah, this probably is translated. Now it's just because like usually when it's interesting hearing. Yeah, I don't want to get into it honestly speaking, but as a black dude at times it's hard. It's kind of funny hearing like white people call each other brother, but it's a different country, and I know other races call each other brother. Uh, but yeah, I would say this. This is very interesting because it's the people you around, bro. Growing up is crazy, man, and it's just so interesting to hear Swedish is kind of like that. Like all the cultures kind of interacting. Because I know SoCal, LA specifically, is very different from like the East Coast or even like a Chicago because the hood of Chicago is very far away from the upper middle class. So the only people that are gonna get hurt by the all the things that go on in like Chicago drill is people in that area. Whereas like in California, what makes California so dangerous and so weird, that's why people from the East Coast or from out where come to LA are like confused and kind of like what where you at and like what happens and like is this place safe or is it not safe? Is because like around the corner from like a great nice mall is the hood. So even though something may look good, people that are native to that city are like, nigga, you went too far, brother. So like you should be over there. Whereas in other places in America, like the East Coast in Chicago, like you'll know instantly when you're in the hood. Like you like, damn, I went too far. Yeah, I'm definitely in the hood. Like the whole area looks different, it looks wilder. You know, buildings don't look as good. You know what I'm saying? Whereas in LA, it's not like that. It kind of seems like that's the same way here in Sweden. So that's very fascinating to me. And he wasn't trying to be cool. Like this is just who he was. Like you just grew up together, and everybody that's ever grew up around some knows it. Even if you didn't go that way, like you might be still cool with a certain group of people just because y'all grew up together. Like there's nothing. So he just went his way, I went my way. But it's easy to go their way with them because it's like that's all you around.
His career would absolutely explode in early 2019 after he dropped his gangster love song Katten, or Tractor, which translates to cat in this song, meaning a girl from the hood. And he would also drop a music video for the track, which was unmistakably gangster despite its romantic undertones. Although there were already some gangster rappers who were already getting popular before.
I ain't gonna lie, that's what that means. I reacted to that song. I had no idea what it was about. I think I reacted to it with those subtitles, dude. I think I was locked
in this song, meaning a girl from the hood. And he would also drop a music video for the track, which was unmistakably gangster despite its romantic undertones. Although there were already some gangster rappers who were already getting popular before Einar, since his success, gangster rap in Sweden has truly become the sound of the mainstream, including rappers with real connections to some of the most violent gangs in the country. And as time has gone on, in the continued acceptance of drill music and culture in the mainstream, Swedish gangster rap has gotten far more violent, with firearms and music videos becoming commonplace, and the gangbanging culture of the suburbs becoming a popular theme of the music there. Unfortunately, Einar's proximity to the streets would ultimately prove fatal. But in order to understand the deep connections between the music and the streets of Sweden, we've got to take a closer look at the hidden criminal underworld and learn about the real and dangerous gangs operating beneath the surface in what's supposed to be one of the safest countries on earth.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned as we attempt to commune with the devil.
What? Nigga, I'm out, bro. What did that nigga say? I don't know what that ad was talking about. We out, brother.
The wave of gangster rap in Sweden makes it seem like the gang problem has arrived in the country pretty much out of nowhere during the 2010s. And while to a certain extent you could argue that that's the case, the roots of the gang problems in Sweden go arguably much further into the past. Some concerns towards the social problems brewing in the Swedish suburbs have been discussed even internationally as far back as the 90s. For example, there's a 1998 article in the New York Times highlighting the ghettoization of a Stockholm suburb called Rinkeby, a place where the brutal gang war that we later discuss in this video actually begun.
Rinkeby. I'm gonna say this, nothing happens overnight. Nothing happens overnight. Even COVID didn't happen overnight. It literally started and a lot of people didn't take it serious. And I can speak for America, like a lot of our protocols, there was no protocol because the people that handle that stuff weren't around. So, and they got rid of, I believe, when somebody got in office. They got rid of it. So, nothing happens overnight.
This was an article which ended with a bizarre romanticization of the hood, where a child would actually explain that the
children had all stories.
Children all had stories about how their parents wouldn't let them party in Rinkeby and just how interesting they feel life is in these areas.
Said one season two. This girl in the 5% is that people don't realize how interesting life is. Stories about friends whose parents wouldn't let them come to parties there. Newspaper accounts about their bursting sleep life. I can understand this hella. Speaking from being from California. And I think a lot of, especially black kids, can relate. I'm sure Flames can relate being in the UK. Like, listen, I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I partied a lot. There was a chance the party would get shot up. And I snuck out. I ain't gonna lie, I snuck out. Like, I found a way to get out of it. Would get out of and going. To parties. I tell my parents now that I was going to all these parties. But there was a logical, like a good, probably like 30-40% chance the party would get shot up. And when you're young, you're like, yeah, it'll be all right. Like, it won't be me, right? To try to explain that to your parents is crazy. Like, no parent on this planet. Like, that's crazy for me to even say, yeah, there's probably like a 30-40% chance some shots going to be fired at this party, but it's not going to be me, right? Trying to, like, convince a parent that there's a 30-40% chance that it's going to get shot up is crazy. Nigga, I wouldn't do that now. What, nigga, you said there's a 30-40% chance that there's probably going to be a shooting at the party. Why am I there? What are we doing? It's not that fun, brother. Ain't no fun on the planet that fun for that type of percentage, right? So, I can relate to that hella. And Cali, a lot of people can. Like, I did go to a lot of parties, but I stayed out of, like, certain cities when I partied. But, but I did go to a party where there was some shots fired. So, like, I get why that story's like, yeah, they wouldn't let me go to parties. Like, my parents didn't let me go to parties. And every logical parent would say, hell no, nigga.
areas. Interestingly, some years later in 2005, as France was dealing with large riots in their troubled suburbs, French newspapers were presenting Rinkeby as a model example for countries like France to follow. However, perhaps nobody could have predicted just how much things would later escalate, particularly during the 2010s. The Swedish police in 2019 would estimate that there were around 30,000 gang members and affiliates in the country.
Damn.
Now, for context, in the UK, the country which is most often discussed when talking about a gang problem in Europe, there were approximately 33,500 so-called professional gang members in 2018. Now, this was considered to be a pretty large number, and according to The Guardian, this meant that there were more gangsters in Britain than in all three big Italian-American mafia families.
So they only 3,000 below the UK. And I ain't gonna lie, this is always kind of funny to me because it's like, oh, 30,000 Korea. This is the ones that are documented. Like the niggas like, oh, I'm a gang member. Yeah, brother, hold on, put me in the stat, nigga. Nah, I'm sorry.
So if you take a step back and account for the fact that the UK's population is about 6 times the size of Sweden's, the numbers there become much more alarming. Statistics show that lethal violence in Sweden has also been steadily increasing since the early 2010s.
Whoa, they're only 3,000 below the UK, but the UK is 6 times bigger. Nah, that's crazy. The ones that's on a piece of paper. Nah, that's crazy. Nah, that is crazy. I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy. Yo. That's crazy as hell, nigga. That's crazy as hell, nigga. That's alarming. That is alarming, nigga. You have 6 times the population. You guys have 60 million to y'all 33,000. They have 10 million to their 30,000. That's crazy. Nah, that's alarming as hell.
Somewhat moderate increase shown in this statistic tells only part of the problem. What makes the situation more alarming is that while other types of homicides have actually...
In contrast to America, the homicide rate in Europe has declined by 60% since 2002 and by 38% since 1990. In Asia, the rate has fallen by 36% since.
decreased, which has been a common progression in Europe, gun homicides in particular have grown so much that the overall trend of violence in Sweden has been increasing, with gun-related deaths actually tripling between 2012 and 2020, taking Sweden from the very bottom of Europe's gun violence rankings to the very top. And now, only Albania, a country with decades-long issues with guns and deadly feuds that put the country ahead of even America in per capita gun deaths, leaving Albania as the only European country more deadly for gun crime than Sweden.
Damn.
But Albanian gangs, that's a whole other video. Again, to put Sweden's
Leave them niggas alone.
staggering number of guns in context, the Swedish police estimate that there are 3,000 illegal firearms in the country's capital of Stockholm alone, which is around 3 times the number of guns thought to be in London, which is a city around 10 times the population.
That's crazy.
And the per capita gun murder rate of the Swedish capital is about 30 times that of London. The great majority of the shootings in Sweden...
Well, that makes sense, though, because I ain't lying. The UK, y'all be rapping about, nigga, I got a Tet Saiga. That niggas got samurai swords, nigga, Bankai releases. Y'all niggas robbed Indiana Jones for his machete, so that makes sense why the UK got more. But this is still crazy, though. I ain't gonna lie. This is insane. This is insane, bro. Like, this is wild.
Are connected to organized crime, with the new street gangs being largely to blame.
8 in 10, nigga, 80% is connected to organized crime. Nah, that's crazy. 80%? No, 80% is crazy.
Particularly, statistics show how the rise in gun crime correlates with an increase in drug-related crime that most of the gangs apparently participate in. Moreover, the use of explosives by these gangs has also increased significantly, which has further resulted in numerous deaths, and horrific news stories that make Sweden seem like it's in a state of civil war.
I woke up at 4:40 from a proper blast, and it was one of those...
Lord, I appreciate you blessing me for a mind with a very good sense of humor. I appreciate you for blessing me with always creating certain jokes in my head, man. I just ask that you continue to bless me and protect me, God. Because, boy, my brain and the jokes. Listen, God, he said, nigga, a bomb is what that nigga said. Is that a proper bomb? I woke up to a proper bomb. I know that's just how they talk. That is a wild detail to describe a bomb, nigga. That was a proper bomb. I know our language is different. That nigga said a proper bomb, bro. What like, bro, it's super serious mode, and this nigga said a proper bomb. Yeah, I woke up to a proper bomb. Yeah, the bomb was like, nigga, shoes was tied. Like, the nigga came elegantly. Like, bro, what? Like, the bomb came okay. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. Like, that's the American in me. Different languages. Like, I'm sorry. There's just no way that nigga said a proper bomb. That took me out. That took me out a little bit. I had to pray. I'm not gonna lie. I had to pray. That was wild. Flames just said this guy, bro. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Listen, listen. Y'all, my people want me to react. I'm gonna keep it a buck, nigga. Cause the nigga said proper. The bomb had man. This nigga. Woo! Flames, you tried to hold me, man. Flames, you tried to hold me, man. Flames, you tried to hold me. It's crazy. Flames, you tried it. You tried to hold me, Flame. You ain't, man. You ain't. I just prayed, nigga. Nigga said the nigga said the bomb was ironed. All right, let's continue, bro. This nigga is wild, bro. This nigga had no wrinkles. Let's continue, bro. Let's this nigga Flames are wild, man. This nigga Flames are
Swedish
wild.
capital is about 30 times that of London. The great majority of the shootings in Sweden are connected to organised crime, with the new street gangs being largely to blame for this alarming increase. Particularly, statistics show how the rise in gun crime correlates with an increase in drug-related crime that most of the gangs apparently participate in. Moreover, the use of explosives by these gangs has also increased significantly, which has further resulted in numerous deaths and horrific news stories that make Sweden seem like it's in a state of civil war.
I woke up at 4:40 from a proper blast, and it was one of those, rattling blasts, like...
In Sweden, a woman has died after what police believe may be the latest in a series of explosions linked.
Bro, a bomb is crazy. Like, a bomb is crazy. Nigga, a bomb is wild. A bomb is crazy. Like, I don't like. That's like, nigga. Bombs is a different level. You bombing some stuff. You want some real like, National Guard is coming in, brother. Yeah, FBI is about to step in, brother. Yeah, it's up. Like,
To a gang war. Investigators say the 25-year-old victim was a neighbour of the targeted premises and had no criminal links.
Police think a grenade attack in Sweden, which killed an 8-year-old boy, could be linked to a gang-related conflict. Yusuf Wasami from Birmingham.
nigga, this nigga's talking about frag out. Nigga, caught. Nigga, what?
In the UK died when a hand grenade was thrown through the window of an apartment in Gothenburg.
Police in Sweden.
Wait, nigga, the name of the city is Gotham? Nigga.
Linked to a gang war. Investigators say the 25-year-old victim was a neighbour of the targeted premises and had no criminal links.
Police think a grenade attack in Sweden, which killed an 8-year-old boy, could be linked to a gang-related conflict.
An 8-year-old boy? Did they say the 8-year-old? That's crazy.
Yusuf Wasami from Birmingham in the UK died when a hand grenade was thrown through the window of an apartment in Gothenburg.
Police in Sweden say a man has died after picking up a suspected hand grenade in Stockholm.
Oh, it's 18.
Swedish gangs have also been linked to shootings and murder.
Nah, that's crazy, bro. That's really, nigga, call Batman for real, bro. Like, honestly, like, I don't, like, I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like, I don't know if police carry firearms, though. Like, I don't know, but this doesn't seem like, I would never suggest, I guess if they can't hold the guns, they must have ambulance. Like, I'm gonna say this, like, I don't know what's going on. I would say I'm not saying police need guns, but I would. This is like once you start bombing places, this is like the army time to step in. Like, nah, you want some organization, like public distress, like you know what I mean? Like this is a national emergency. Like you wild. So that's what I would say. Like this is kind of crazy. Like I'm gonna be honest. If no gang is doing that in America, I'm gonna be honest. You're not just bombing places. You would have mass media attention, and the media would come get you. There's a lot of stuff that happens in America in silence, the nice stuff, but if you do stuff that gets media attention, I promise you, you are going to jail very quickly. Because you now are ruining a lot of people's money. A lot of people's money. You are ruining a lot of people's money, man. I'm gonna be honest. So this is crazy to me. This is so wild. Bombings, grenades. Like this is insane. Like Flames, I don't know what it's like in the UK, but like I said, the media in America, like bro, like if you do something that messes up a lot of people's money and the media covers it, oh, it's gonna be a problem. Oh, it's gonna be a big problem, and you're going to jail immediately. Your reign will not last long, brother. This is crazy. Like I don't even know. Like a Swedish man arrested was planting a blank on the what?
Murders in other countries like Denmark, Spain, Turkey, and the United Kingdom. And the gangs are also actively trying to establish their operations.
Wait, this nigga, they international? Niggas crossing borders? What the hell? No, this is crazy.
Countries like Denmark, Spain, Turkey, and the United Kingdom. And the gangs are also actively trying.
Stockholm's.
Swedish gangs have also been linked to shootings and murders in other.
Coca-Cola says usually they get caught before that happens. Okay. My fault. I gotta keep playing the video. My fault. I was reading. That's kind of common over here. Not gonna lie. What's common? What's common, Flanger? Break that down for me. What's common?
Sweden say a man has died after picking up a suspected hand grenade in Stockholm's.
Swedish gangs have also been linked to shootings and murders in other countries like Denmark, Spain, Turkey, and the United Kingdom.
Damn, these niggas armed attack on a cafe in Istanbul. Swedish hitman is jailed for life for shooting Real Housewives of brother on doorstep of their. That nigga's crazy. That nigga shot internet a star, his brother. International link up. International link ups. That's pretty common in the UK. Coca-Cola said that some kids almost blew up my old school, but they got caught the day before. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, bro. This is crazy right here. Screaming wife. That's crazy to do to like a public figure.
And the gangs are also actively trying to
8 detained after Swedish gang boss tortured and executed in Spain.
establish their operations abroad on a more permanent basis, particularly in the neighbouring countries of Norway and Finland, where they likely have few rivals who could challenge them with equal levels of violence, as well as Spain, where supposed Swedish
Swedish escape from the cold in space because the past 5 years while the nation shooting and increase their presence. Another warm weather and high quality life. The drug trafficking market. Why are these organized criminals from the
Narcos have migrated there to be closer to their wholesale suppliers that allow them to maintain and grow their drug dealing operations. As the gangs have become an inescapable part of the Swedish society, the media has also begun to make increasingly detailed reports about them, including dedicated sites like this one from the Swedish public service media company SVT, where each gang is presented in great detail. It's almost like a corporate version of Reddit's Chiracology sub, which documents the daily goings-on among Chicago gang and drill communities. This particular site lists 29 gangs that have at least some operations in the greater Stockholm area, with some of the most well-known ones that we'll be discussing in this video being the Death Patrol, a gang that hails from the suburb of Rinkeby in northwest Sweden, a name which was first given to the
niggas made a gang encyclopedia. Is crazy. That's crazy, bro. This is insane, bro. I don't care nobody. This is insane, bro. Nigga, a website dick nigga said, "What gang do you want?" This is crazy. Nigga, Swedish gang bang. This is wild, bro.
29 gangs that have at
Nigga, this is gang Wikipedia. This is wild. This is crazy, bro. Like, I don't even know what to say.
least some operations in the greater Stockholm area, with some of the most well-known ones that we'll be discussing in this video being the Death Patrol, a gang that hails from the suburb of Rinkeby in northwest Sweden, a name which was first given to the gang by the media as seen in shocking reporting on the group being suspected of committing as many as 10 murders. The original members of the Death Patrol apparently called themselves 3MST, with the name being derived from the names of their most prominent members. 3 being 3M, referring to 3 founding members whose names begin with M, Mohammed aka Makan or Makalele, Mustafa aka Musa, and Masla aka Hajud. The S stands for Zachariah aka Shobra, and the T for Abdisamed aka Talang, with some suggesting that the name 3MST actually stands for the Three Musketeers. But later, the abbreviation DP for Death Patrol would become a common name used to refer to the gang in internal Sweden.
Shit is crazy.
Right
Nah,
now,
this shit
Sonic
is
Shakes
crazy,
are.
though. I ain't gonna lie, this shit is crazy, nigga.
Largely replaced by a new generation who have been given the new name the Hulster Children, referring to another suburb near Rinkeby. This new generation of the gang has also been or YDP, meaning Young Death Patrol, with this formatting actually borrowing a common UK gang tradition using the letter Y to refer to a younger generation of a
I feel like that's not really a big like Young Money came out, like I don't know, I feel like Young was like I don't know, they could have got inspiration, but I just feel like Young is kind of like a thing. Like, I feel like I don't know. Maybe I'm holding people. My fault, y'all. Just feel like they didn't get that from the UK. Like I feel like Young is just such a like young boys, new boys, young boys, young and restless. I don't know. Maybe they did get it from UK. I don't know. I feel like you would maybe if you hear Young Money, like we are the next generation. I don't know.
Patrol would become a common name used to refer to the gang in internal Sweden. The Death Patrol formed in 2015, but has now been largely replaced by a new generation who have been given the new name the Hulster Children, referring to another suburb near Rinkeby. This new generation of the gang has also been referred to as the Death Patrol 2.0 or YDP, meaning Young Death Patrol, with this formatting actually borrowing a common UK gang tradition using the letter Y to refer to a younger generation of a famous gang. And shockingly, it wouldn't take long for news reports to suggest that the Death Patrol 2.0 was quickly becoming one of Stockholm's most violent groups. And now, in direct opposition to the Death Patrol, you have the Shottaz, another gang from Rinkeby, infamous for their deadly feud with the Death Patrol that goes all the way back to 2015. This gang likely got its name from the classic 2002 gangster movie Shottaz, which depicts 2 guys from the hard streets of Kingston, Jamaica, migrating to Miami in search for a better life. Some of the main names that have been associated with the Shottaz are the brothers Far and Faye, aka Frankie, as well as Faisal, aka Indiana, A, Poi, Gucci, Hoods, and the rappers Yasin, formerly Yasin Bin, and Jafar Bin. Like the Death Patrol, the Shottaz also have a younger generation who go by the name FLG or Filterlösa Grabbar, which translates to something like the filterless guys, suggesting that in the streets, they truly have no filter. Later, the FLG would also have a split where some of the members would start a new gang called SSA, or Same Side Always. Now, as mentioned previously, there's another gang called the Darlan Network, which was allegedly the first gang that the rapper Einar became associated with as a youngster through a friend of his called Packy. That's his name, don't cancel me for that. At the time, this gang was likely operating mainly in the projects of an area called Darlan, including the suburbs around Enskede-Dalen, where Einar grew up, and the neighbouring Bagarmosen. However, recently, the gang has allegedly begun heavily expanding their operations across the country, leading to a violent turf war with another criminal group called the Foxtrot Network. That war reportedly begun in the city of Sundsvall. Allegedly, the gang's expansion has recently come under the leadership of a fresh-faced 25-year-old kingpin by the name of Mikhail the Greek Tenezos.
25 is crazy. I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
has a warrant out for his arrest and is assumed to currently reside abroad, but his location is unknown. Now, the Darlin network also has several rappers associated with the gang, including Thrife, aka Thrife Jack, who hails from the suburb of Enschede Darlin and can be seen hanging out with Einar in the projects of Darlin in Einar's first music video. There is also Haval, who hails from the suburb of Skarpnjak, which is located near Enschede Darlin, who can even be seen here posting with the former leader of the Darlin network, Mario Golzarmia, who is currently imprisoned for the kidnapping of Einar, among other serious charges.
Oh shit! Wait, that nigga's the one that kidnapped. Oh yeah, this is crazy.
However, Haval has also been connected with another gang who are allied with the Darlin, the Vorby network. The Vorby network hails from the western outskirts of Greater Stockholm, unsurprisingly, a suburb called Vorbygård. The gang was allegedly founded by a man named Chihab Lamauri sometime in the late 2000s or early 2010s. According to the police, Lamauri is a strong leader who had organized the gang like a mafia with a strict vertical leadership structure. Besides Haval, the gang has been associated with the popular rapper Sickan, who often hangs out in Vorbygård in his music.
Nah, Sickan is crazy, yo. His raps is crazy. Listen, y'all. His rap, Sickan's raps is crazy. This is who he tied to. Okay, this is crazy.
Videos. This gang has had over a decade-long conflict with another gang from the same area called the May Network. This conflict stems from the early 2010s when there was another gang in the area called VYG, or Vorby Young Gangsters.
Damn, nigga, how many gangs is there? Nigga, how many? God damn, nigga. It's like fighting a new Pokemon, nigga. What the hell is going on? I feel like ass trying to get gym badges, nigga. There's a new gym there's a new bro. What the hell? Nah, this is crazy, bro. Nah, that's sick on, bro. Listen, that's sick, bro. Listen, I reacted to his music. His music is crazy. That's sick. His music is crazy. Okay, so this is who. Oh, so they was beefing with. So that group, the Verb guy, were beefing with these guys.
Although it's not clear if this was an actual criminal organization or just a fragmented group of out-of-control youngsters, what is known is that one of their members, named Makil Yokana, was indeed serious about making a name for himself.
That nigga's name is Make. Bro, there's no way that's his name, bro. Nah, there's no way we pronouncing that right, bro. I don't care, no, but there's no way we're pronouncing that right. I don't care what nobody said. This nigga's name must be Michael. There's no way that's his name, bro. I refuse to. There's no way this nigga's name is Maykill, nigga. There's no way, bro. I refuse. I refuse to believe that.
Decade-long conflict with another gang from the same
Nigga,
area.
there's no way, bro.
This conflict stems
y'all
from the
pranking me, bro.
2010s when there was another gang in the area called VYG, or Vorby Young Gangsters. Although it's not clear if this was an actual criminal organization or just a fragmented group of out-of-control youngsters, what is known is that one of their members, named Makil Yokana,
nigga's name is. Yo, somebody was trying to send him to jail immediately. This nigga's name was Maykill. What are we talking about, nigga? His lawyer had to be devastated when he saw his name, nigga. Yeah, he's like, bro, what? Bro, that is a wow. Okay, there's that being his name is crazy. My fault.
Or Vorby Young Gangsters. Although it's not clear if this was an actual criminal organization or just a fragment.
Oh, my fault, yo. I was supposed to be speeding this up crazily.
Group of out-of-control youngsters. What is known is that one of their members, named Makil Yokana, was indeed serious about making a name for himself in the criminal underworld. In 2011, Yokana was shot in Vorby, but would fortunately survive, and it was rumored that Lamauri's group was behind the shooting, which may have had something to do with territorial disputes regarding drug dealing. According to the local police, from this point forward, the Vorby network, led by Lamauri, and the May network, founded by Yokana, were in serious conflict, which would only escalate as time went on. After Yokana had been targeted in several assassination attempts, one of them in—
Damn, nigga, 7? Nah, having 7 attempts is still, bro. Hey, listen. 7 attempts, bro? 7? Niggas tried 7 times, bro? 7 is, bro, what? They wanted him bad, bro. Murray has played a leading role in Stockholm Universe. Several of his closest friends have been killed. His wife has been shot, and he himself has survived 7, bro. And once you in that deep now, bro, you can't get, bro. 7 of your closest friends have been, bro. Damn, bro. Damn, bro. This is crazy.
Injuring his wife and killing his friend, he would go on a retaliation mission that would become one of the biggest news stories in Sweden at the time. On the 2nd of August 2020, Jokana and his 2 accomplices would drive to a gas station with the aim of shooting members of the Vorby network, but instead, they would end up killing an innocent 12-year-old girl who was just out walking her dog. This tragic event caused a public uproar, and eventually the men were found and arrested. And during the investigation, the police would also uncover that the murder weapon, an AK-47, had actually been used in a music video by an affiliated rapper called Tenan, who himself had ties to the May network. The music video, which was for a song called Blue Cheese, has since been removed from the internet, and Tenan would end up receiving a 4-year sentence for the illegal weapon. Initially, it appeared that the Vorby network would largely escape the situation scot-free, but soon it turned out that they were in fact suspects in another case.
Man, that's sad, man. This shit is sad, bro. This shit is sad, bro. This is why, like, you can't take stuff back, bro. Bullets don't got no names, man. So be like guns, bro, because, bro, AK-47, like, it's an AK-47. These aren't trained Navy SEALs, you know what I'm saying? These are trained Army people that know how to shoot. Like, semi-automatic, once you start spraying, you just boom, boom, boom. Ain't elite aiming. A young girl lost her life because he wanted revenge. And the cycle only continues. And this 12-year-old girl lost her life, man. That's and it happens everywhere, bro. It's the same thing, bro. It's the same. You know what's crazy, man? And I was talking about this when I do my interviews too. Is like we were talking about a lot of topic in terms of like transferring schools, right? As you're an athlete, bro. But when you transfer, please understand that you're gonna face the same test that you leaving. That's the crazy part about life. If you ever left a test or ran away from a test, the test always comes back. And it's the same thing about life, man. No matter what race you speak, no matter where you from, bro. It's crazy that we all got the same stories, it's the same test. And we keep failing every time because the same thing happens. Some little kid dies, man. And you know what he could say? Yo, where was the police at when y'all found me pretty quickly? Yo, where was the police at when my homies died? Not to say that he chose a certain life, but if the police intervened earlier, then what happens? But if nobody ever goes down that route of just strict violence, bro, because the violence isn't just secured to one person, to just you and them. Innocent bystanders always get caught up. And in the 8-year, I don't know if that was an 8-year, I don't know if it was 8 or 18, but that was sad. Like, it's just, think about it in school, man. It's usually the person that hits back that always gets in trouble. Like, man, I wasn't even doing nothing, man. I wasn't even doing, and the jail, and this is sad, man. It's always innocent bystanders every day of the week. And it's the same test that we as humanity, I think we face no matter what area. You know, we always fail because everybody, no matter what language, no matter what race, got the same stories. Innocent bystander get hurt. And it's always too late. Sad, man. That's sad, man.
That would end up making even more headlines. But more about that later on in the story. Together, the gangs discussed here have been part of some of the most brazen gang wars that have devastated Sweden's streets in the past few years, as well as blurring the lines between music and real-life organised crime in a way that has rarely been seen in Europe before. So now you know the key players and organisations that run the streets of Sweden, it's time to begin our deep dive into the violent streets of Sweden and the music that represents them. Going back almost 10 years to the Stockholm suburb of Rinkeby, where one dispute between childhood friends would ultimately lead to years of bloodshed that would eventually spread from the small suburb in the outskirts of Stockholm all the way beyond Sweden's borders, and in the process, launching the career of one of Sweden's most popular rappers.
Amazon is overcharging you, but I can show you how to avoid it. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this first.
Cola says
Watch
I live
this. I can show you.
Coca-Cola says I live in the hood of Green Bay. Shootings around my block here and there. I could imagine if my 1.5-year-old son got hit, but I always think about it when it happens. Like, because it's just like, bro, nobody, it ain't got no name, bro. And these are not trained. This is not, you know what I'm saying, on some like, bro, this isn't Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible, bro. Like, these are not trained army officials with shooting. You know, that's like, bro, they have a semi-automatic weapon that sprays. And a lot of times they don't care who they're. And I know a lot of y'all, if you older especially, that seen have you seen Scarface? When Scarface even back then he didn't blow up the car because bro was with his family. Some people would, some people wouldn't. Like, it's just how sick it is out here. Nobody really waiting.
Rinkeby is part of Stockholm's municipal district called Järva. This land used to be a military training ground until it was turned into residential areas as part of the Million program in the late 60s and early 70s. Originally targeting the growing working and middle classes in big cities like Stockholm, where housing shortages were a serious issue, over time, the middle classes would move out of these areas to other neighborhoods with much larger single-family houses. This would leave only the poorest people in the Million program's projects, particularly the quickly growing migrant population. Nowadays, over 90% of Rinkeby's inhabitants have a migrant background, and over 50% of those are of African descent, particularly Somalian, a community which began arriving in Sweden as refugees after the start of the Somali civil war in the late 80s and early 90s, leading to the suburbs of these areas sometimes being referred to as Little Mogadishu. Unfortunately, according to the Swedish police, many of Järva's suburbs, including Rinkeby and the neighbouring Tensta and Husby, are at the top of Sweden's so-called vulnerable areas list. These are the areas that sometimes international media have erroneously labelled as no-go zones, but officially, these are areas that have the highest levels of crime, poverty, and general social exclusion from the broader society. Signs of serious social issues amongst Rinkeby's youth became public already in 2010 when large riots broke out in the suburb, and a few years later in 2013, similar riots started to spread to the neighbouring suburb of Husby, where at least 100 cars were burned, by this point with rioting spreading all over Stockholm. It's probably not surprising then that after drill culture began spreading from the troubled neighbourhoods of Chicago's south side all around the world in the early 2010s, that Järva was one of the places where it took hold and inspired the local lost youths. In fact, one of the first rappers from the area to represent this style of music was an artist from the suburb of Husby called 24K, who would even use clips from the 2013 riots in his suburbs in his music videos to paint a picture of what was going on in the area. This song, with a title translating to A Guy from the Program, would interestingly be an early showcase of some of the main enemies that we'll be discussing later in this story, showing that is often the case in these long-running drill conflicts, there was once a time when they were all friends, appearing together in the same music videos. Here you can see two guys from the Death Patrol and two guys from the Shottaz. Masla from Death Patrol being the guy in the middle who raises a finger to his lips, along with Makalele from Death Patrol directly to the left of him wearing a black hoodie, while Hamza from the Shottaz is to the left of him and Faye from the Shottaz is there all the way to the right. This is a link-up that would later become unthinkable as these groups would descend into an all-out gang war. Now, a few different youths from Rinkeby would also begin releasing music around this time, under a movement that was called BBE, or Bin Block Entertainment. Bin commonly being a nickname for Rinkeby, meaning the village. The most known rappers from this movement are Jafar Bin and Yasin Bin, the latter also making a cameo in 24K's earlier music video. These two would both later become affiliated with the group The Shottaz, but long before that gang war had emerged, they would begin dropping UK drill-inspired street freestyles and cyphers around 2014. Now, their influence came much more from the UK gangster road rap and drill rap scene, which had already begun forming in the years earlier. This is actually something that was mentioned in Jafar Bin's 2015 song Ghetto Style, where he says F Swedish hip-hop, what he's doing is more like the UK, going on to shout out legends of UK street rap like Rimsey, Nines, and Jay Spades.
Flanger, how you feel about that? I know you're from the UK. How you feel about that and being inspired by y'all? It's kind of interesting. You know, obviously Chicago drill had an influence on the UK and then thus expanded to Sweden, but he was like, they was trying to be more like the UK. How do you feel about that, being from the UK?
However, in the mid-2010s, the youngsters from Rinkeby were not just rapping about the street life. While they weren't yet hardened gang leaders, they were commonly getting involved in various criminal activities, such as robberies and drug dealing. In 2015, one particular robbery would end up causing friction between a friend group that would lead to a years-long war and would end up claiming numerous young lives. A falling out that would lead to the formation of an infamous gang that would end up sowing fear all over Northern Europe and even beyond.
Are you looking to save on your energy bills this summer? Sign up for Idaho Power's AC Cool Credit Program. With this fall,
on the 22nd of July 2015, in the suburb of Terby, about 20 minutes drive from Rinkeby, a group of at least 4 individuals pulled a heist at a Forex exchange, getting away with cash worth about $200,000 US. This was a major lick that everybody was soon talking about in the streets of Rinkeby. By the end of that day, word had spread that a 19-year-old guy called Izzy had allegedly been the main culprit behind the operation.
Flanger said, I mean, it ain't new. Look at Australia drill. At the end of the day, we were all inspired with what was going on in Chicago because we all saw some similarities. And it's just sad, man. If you think about it, man, poverty always, man, it's always the poor, man. It's always the poor with less opportunity. So everybody goes, well, let me go make an opportunity, and then you turn to like, well, they gonna give it to me. I'm gonna go take some what I can take, and that's always a sad part, man. And it's never gonna really be an answer because if you're less fortunate, you're gonna do what you can do to survive, what you want out of life. And opportunity is important, but they immigrated. So, and people, it's human nature to fear somebody different, right? It's fear the new stuff. It's human nature to do that. So, do you take away the helping hand? Do you help still, even though you know what's gonna happen? Like, where is the line? But then there's the God complex that America has been accused of, right? Which is you just think you're better than everybody, so you think you can go save somebody, right? If they do what you do, and then there's like an innate looking down of somebody, right? And then there's the they weak for letting us in, right? So we could take over. Like where's the line? What to do? I'll never really know the answer to it, to be honest with you. Really gotta ask God for that one.
On the 22nd of July 2015, in the suburb of Terbi, about 20 minutes drive from Rinkeby, a group of at least 4 individuals pulled a heist at a Forex exchange, getting away with cash worth about $200,000. This was a major lick that everybody was soon talking about in the streets of Rinkeby. By the end of that day, word had spread that a 19-year-old guy called Izzy had allegedly been the main culprit behind the operation. However, there had originally been others involved in planning this robbery. One of these guys was a 16-year-old Masla. But for whatever reason, Masla was not invited to the heist itself, which led to him feeling betrayed by Izzy for carrying the robbery out without him. Masla's friends were sharing his anger, namely Makalele, Musa, Shobra, and Talang. After the robbery that they were cut out of, they went to confront Izzy. They would end up meeting him near a subway station in Rinkeby, where things would soon escalate, eventually leading to the group taking Izzy to a nearby wooded area, where one of them would end up shooting Izzy in the back while he was trying to escape through the woods. Izzy was able to stumble through the small forest, ending up in the suburb of Bromston, which is a middle-class neighborhood. Just for reference, this is like an upmarket area which is worlds apart from the projects of Rinkeby. And it's here in this upmarket neighborhood that Izzy would ultimately collapse in the yard of an older couple who would phone for help. Unfortunately, later that night, Izzy would pass away in the hospital.
En 19-årig man dog i natt efter vad vittnen uppfattat som en skottlossning i Västerort. Enligt Aftonbladet.se ska 3 skott ha avlossats i skogen mellan Rinkeby och Bromsten och 19-åringen ska ha träffats i ryggen. Polisen har inlett en förundersökning om mord.
And this event would cause the large group of childhood friends of all different ages to split into two. Those who stood with Masla, who had been cut out of the robbery, and those on the inside, who had been closer to Izzy. Masla's group of close friends, who called themselves 3MST, which included that core group of Makan aka Makalele, Musa, Shobra, and Talang. This is the group that would eventually be labelled the Death Patrol. Meanwhile, the friends of Izzy would eventually begin using the name Shottaz for their rival crew.
I'm gonna say this. Money out of sight cause fights. And speaking as an American that has seen, I remember I reacted to the UK drill doc with the hamburgers and them, and even America. This is probably, and this is one of the most logical reasons why 2 people, groups of individuals fell out. I'm gonna be honest. A lot of times it's over the most dumbest things. A lot of times it's over girls, women. A lot of times somebody may rob somebody over some like extreme chump change and they just didn't even know who it was. Watches. If I'm gonna keep it a 365, I'm gonna keep it a buck. This is probably the most logical dispute breakup I've ever seen. Especially from young guys. Usually young guys just being stupid, being wild, egos hella involved. But if this is the story that's being said, bro, they got cut out of $200,000. I'm an adult. I'm an adult right now. I'm 24 years old, bro. $200,000 right now is a lot of money. At 16, $200,000, especially where they come from, and the dudes you planned it with cut you out, brother. Nigga, you gonna be mad as hell. You gonna be mad as shit. Listen, I don't know a nigga that's not gonna be hot over $200,000. Even billionaires be cheap as hell, be mad as hell. Nigga, you took $200,000 from me, nigga. Listen, if I'm being honest, if I'm a keep it a 365, if I'm gonna be honest, this is probably the most logical fallout I think I've ever seen in terms of the reason. I was expecting some deep male ego. Somebody may have, stepped on somebody's shoes crazy, talking crazy, got out of hand. People swung at a party. Now it just went left because nobody wanted to apologize. You know what I'm saying? Somebody shot a fair fight. Then somebody whipped out a gun being stupid. They didn't know it was just a fair fight. Like that kind of happened back in the day in terms of Crips and Bloods, I heard allegedly. Like, yo, you made a shot, bro, on accident. He was messing with your girl. You didn't know he was messing. Like, this is, if I'm going to be honest, especially for young dudes, this is probably the most logical fallout that, honestly, usually I chop it up to people being young and dumb and not somebody reacting crazy emotionally, reacting without anything and like wilding and all this and all that. This is probably the most logical fallout that you like. Now, that makes sense. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying I don't wish death on nobody. I'm sorry that bro lost his life. But if this is the story alleged that we're hearing, I'm just reacting to the story that we're being told from this documentary. This is the most logical reaction. I plan a successful plan with you. I help make the plan. You go take the plan and you go do it. I don't know a nigga that's not going to be hot. Especially if it's successful. I'm going to put it like this for you. If I'm one of the niggas that invented Apple and they take Apple and they going to make billions, and I'm like, hey, bro, you cut me out. Nigga, I was one of the dudes that helped formulate the plan. You don't think I'm going to have a problem with what just happened? But I was part of the people that helped you make it, bro. What we talking about, bro? I don't get a cut. And you talking about people that's from the street life? That's like, bro, come on, bro, break me off some bread. And if this, like, bro, regular people that aren't from the hood gonna have a problem. Like, that type of stuff will make a regular person snap. Like, nigga, I could be a billionaire right now. Nigga don't rob me for billions, bro. And I helped him make Apple. He ain't gonna give me a cut, bro. And it's not like, bro, he left. Like, you still got access. You looking at, bro, damn, nigga, you can't give me some. And if I'm being honest, the fact that they even met with bro and they didn't instantly, like, in my opinion, like I said, from the alleged story, the fact that they didn't instantly be on that type of, bro, we trying to take your life as soon as we see you. If I'm gonna be honest, it tells me how deep they bond was. That they was like, nah, we're gonna at least have a conversation with bro. Like, we ain't gonna trip crazy. But they probably met with bro and he was like, bro, I ain't giving you nothing. What are you talking about? They took me to the woods. They may have did some stuff. I don't know. But the fact that they wasn't instantly reacting violently to go find him, look at him, and all that, to me, tells me a lot. Like I said, I'm just speculating. I'm just a legend. But I'm going to be honest. If I'm going to keep it a buck, this is probably the most logical fallout I've ever seen. Money out of sight calls fight. But if what happened, bro, this makes sense. This is the most, like I said, I'm going to say it again for the people. This is the most logical fallout I've ever seen from young kids in gangs. The most logical fallout that even if they were adults, you'd be like, oh, that'd be a fallout anyway. No matter what age that is, that's a fallout. That's a serious problem. Like, $200,000 and I helped and I don't get a cease of the pot. Oh, yeah. Somebody gonna have a problem. And if they friends like they saying they was friends like how it looks, obviously the dude helped them. He came up with some ideas like, damn, bro, I don't get like, damn, bro, I can't get like $5K. She just break us off. She'd break me and my homies off like $5K or something, bro. It gets 20 of the. I mean, we helped out, but nah, nigga, that nigga. See, it's crazy out here. Greed, man, greed is crazy. Like I said, this is allegedly. I don't know what really happened. I'm just going off the story that I was told. This is my instant reaction to that and my comments to that.
But these labels for these groups wouldn't become prominent until some years later. And in the immediate aftermath of the death of Izzy, people close to him would go on the warpath, vowing to get revenge. According to later reports, the murder of Izzy acted as a watershed moment in Rinkeby gang politics, where youths formerly concerned mainly of hustling and petty crime would begin commonly carrying guns and eventually even having to wear bulletproof vests. Reports would also tell that Maslow and his friends went into hiding following the shooting due to the police likely looking for them as persons of interest. Although it's not been known for sure who had ultimately been the one responsible for pulling the trigger and killing Izzy, Maslow would reportedly make a call to his mother soon after Izzy's death, telling her that he feared that people were after him and that they wanted him dead. And these fears turned out to be valid, because not even 48 hours later, Maslow and his friends were ambushed at a gas station in the middle of the night. Unfortunately, Maslow was shot in the head and later pronounced dead at hospital. The police and the Swedish media were quickly drawing a connection between both of these murders, and security camera footage from the scene would show two possible suspects running away from the gas station. The police would eventually find some compelling evidence pointing to Izzy's two older brothers as being involved in the murder, but they were eventually excluded from the investigation without ever being charged due to lack of evidence. In an act of reconciliation by the families and the broader Rinkeby community, both Izzy and Maslow were buried next to each other. But this post-murder gesture would do little to calm down the escalating situation between these former friends now at war. Meanwhile, Maslow's friends like Makaleli, Musa, Shobra, and Talang were soon caught out of town in connection with another completely unrelated investigation. So for the time being, this crew was momentarily broken up, as many of those involved were sent to so-called special youth detention centres, since there are no youth prisons in Sweden. Now, this is because the government are apparently aiming to reduce the detrimental effects of time spent in prison by young people. Now, let's see how that turns out over the course of the rest of this story. But the sentences in these centres are relatively short, and already by the end of 2015, these gang comrades would all be reunited, and then they would continue to commit crimes, including robberies, home invasions, carjackings, and drug dealing. Now, eventually, all of those crimes would land these members in full-blown adult prisons.
Buried next to each other is wild. I ain't gonna hold you. Buried next to each other is wild. Giving them, that's just what it is to you got one choice. You either turn up or you let it go. Now, there's not a lot of young people out there. There's not a lot of grown men. There's not a lot of grown women out there that can just let something go. Where if we looking at this, Izzy's brothers and them don't care what happened, bro. You know, my brother's gone. You can't get that back. There ain't no reversing death. And if we look at it from Maz and them side, it's like, bro, he robbed us. He basically robbed us. Like, cut us out of some money, bro. What the hell? Come on, man. We supposed to be. So that's just what it is. So that's just what it is in terms of that. So it's up now. It's up now. Because then there's egos. You're not just gonna take his life and act like we're just sweet out here, bro. Like we just some sucker ass. Like we just some punks, bro. Nah, they want to go left. Let's go left. And once everybody goes left, it's up. Because once that line was crossed, bro, the line was crossed. Now it's the line. There's no more line. There's no more line. And buried next to each other, they tried to, reconcile, but it was over. It was over. It was done. Say less. And especially when y'all all know each other, because you can be like, bro, I know that dude don't think he all that, and he took my brother's life. You ain't no damn mob hitman, and we just gonna let them walk, bro. I see him every day. And that's another sad part about it. You gonna see them every day, and you know who did it. It's like, bro, I'm just supposed to just let this happen, and I know who did it, bro. He right there. Seen this nigga eating a bagel. So, I mean, it's sad, man. And the line will never get redrawn. Once the line is crossed, it's over. And like, bro, the line has been crossed. It's done. It's up. The line's been crossed. It's over. Once the line's been crossed, it's up. It takes a lot to get the line redrawn, and only for it to get redrawn is for both sides to be tired. And after that, there's usually a lot of people that lost their lives. So, I mean, it's sad, man. I want to end it right here, man. The Swedish Drill Doc. Shout out everybody in the stream today. Shout out Flames. Shout out Coca-Cola. This was a sad documentary. I'm gonna continue it because I react to Swedish drill music, so it's only right that I react to the real stories behind it and everything. It's your boy Chosen. Hope you guys enjoy my reaction. Like, subscribe, subscribe it up, so I can get part 3 to y'all as fast as possible. I know you guys enjoy these, and I always try to keep it a buck. Always try to keep it 365, man. And stuff is sad, man. It's your boy Chosen, man. I'm out.